Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid.
That's just
He probably
mean.
only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Hey guys, Panda here, and today I have some Stanley Parable. I heard about this game being very mindfucky and funny, so I bought it and wanted to play it. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Alright, Stanley Parable. I like how it's a non-stop cursor thing down there. It's weird. Alright, let's begin. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-ripping, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
It's a nice painting.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
All these papers sitting around isn't a trace? Oh, there's a trace of them being here, isn't it? Or is it always this messy? Paper on the floors, God. People need to get fired for not cleaning. I like this desk, it's literally just a light and a pencil sharpener. All he does all day is sharpen pencils. Alright. Who farted? Sorry. That was me. Shit. Party up in this building. Solo party, yeah. Yeah, see, I'm on the desk, yeah. Party. Oh, anarchy. Yeah. Just turn that off, because somebody left it on. I don't know. Smile. God, this place looks like it got robbed. Yeah. Ah! Who made this mess? Who did it? I hate Mondays too, but no, actually, today's Monday. One of my 2 days off. I like Mondays. Fuck you, Cup. Don't you say anything about Mondays. I'll come back for you. Ooh. Okay. Hello? Who left their cup on the chair?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
But every time I play a horror game, I always end up going right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yes, that is exactly what I wanted. Alright.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yes. Because it's so much darker in here with the blue lights. Not as bright as those yellow hallways.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
It is. It's very worth it. Yes, it is worth it. And sorry,
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Well, good, because then they're not good enough to be around me. Gosh.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
What was the message? Tell me the message. Don't worry, I'll wait. I'll wait for the message. I'm waiting for a message. Coffee nut. Fine.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room, and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Fine.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Fine, I'll listen to you for now. What's this way? Slide chart ratio. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Please, no more charts. Please, I'm begging. What are your dreams in the future? Pollution. A boat. Metamorphosis. Clear skin. Travel. Tired of not getting tips for not getting fired. Talk less. Do unbelievably amazing work at all the time every day with no exception. Expectation of promotion. Ah. That's a coworker. Let a ball up inside you. Take it out passively. Aggressively on other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more.
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything. This is why Stanley and I are on such good terms.
Alright. Oh my god, it's floating. No, it's not. Looks like it's floating. Alright. Broom closet. Ooh.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Let me look around. Could be something important.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
There is one reason to still be here. See what you will say.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Why not? Yes. Why not? Why aren't you in here too with me?
You do
can just
realize
chill.
there's no choice or anything in here, right? If
Yeah.
I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I
But-
never would have thought to mention it.
But it was a door that I could open, unlike all the others.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope
Yes.
your friends find this concerning.
They will.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
That's just
He probably
mean.
only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Damn.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
I must be dead. I'm a ghost. I have no body. Alright, I think we're good.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee. Coming to a staircase,
Oh, no,
Stanley
no.
walked
I wanted to
upstairs
hear
to
him.
his
No.
boss's office.
Damn it.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Then how would I do this without my reasoning being a voice in my head told me? 2845, I think.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Yes, exactly. Why would I? How would I know that?
2845.
How can I remember this? How? Just how? How? Gosh. Kitty.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Well then, that was hard. Alright, let's go. No! I changed my mind!
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
But... for the first time, for the first round, I'll just go this way.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Alright.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Perhaps.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
He could, yes, easily.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oh dear.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
But if I were an evil corporation, why those buttons? Oh, that's... Oh, I...
Blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine! Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
There's nature out there. Nature's scary. I don't know where I'm at. There's just hills out there. There's hills out there, and there's a small, very small parking lot. I don't know if I'm ready. Fuck it.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
What if this whole game's about being mind-controlled? So you just think you're in a game, but you're not. You think everybody's calm, but they're not. Achievement, beat the game. Yes! Now I've lost the game. Thank you, game. Jesus. Where am I? What? Oh, I'm back at the beginning. Gotcha. Alright. Well, there's the real ending. Yes. Now for more. Alright guys, I did a whole bunch of other endings to it too, so there will be more videos coming out of those endings. I do loosen up and get a little out of it in the head, but it was fun. So, those will be coming up shortly, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you should leave a like, subscribe, share, anything. Anything will help me out. And hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.